Hello and welcome to this presentation of POcheck version 2.0. We are excited to show you how easy and effective POcheck can be for your agency. Before we get started, let us tell you just a little bit about ourselves. First off, our leadership all hail from the probation and parole executives. Many of us have come up through the ranks of our respective agents as probation and parole officers. Our developers of POcheck were all in law enforcement agencies and probation and parole agencies. And most importantly, actual probation officers are who put POcheck together. Lastly, as you'll soon see, we're leaders in technology. POcheck are the pioneers of secure, web-based internet reporting for offenders. Okay, let's jump into the system. The first screen you see here is the main screen your offenders will see when they log into POcheck. On the left-hand side of the screen are where messages from your officers or your staff will show up when you send a message to your offender. Over here is where your offender can send your officer or staff a message. Of course, the report-in screen right here is what they hit when they start the report-in process. Here you'll see we use drop-down technology. We ask very standard questions that many, in most agencies I should say, across the country ask on their paper monthly report. You'll see we ask if they've had any police contact, have you consumed alcohol, have you used illegal drugs, so on and so forth. For the purpose of the presentation, this is Mr. Westinghouse. He's our offender today. And we're going to show that Mr. Westinghouse reported that he had police contact. You can see that here. Once he finishes these drop-down questions, then of course he just clicks next, and this is the screen that'll pop up. Now, because he said he had police contact, the very first thing that POcheck will ask are for details about that contact. Here you can see that he had contact with Nampa police. It was on November 16th. It was for speeding, and his comments, of course, was that he wasn't paying attention. His residence, his employment, his vehicle information didn't change on his report, so there's no action needed for him. Once he fills those things out, he of course just submits the report, and he's done. Reporting in as an offender takes less than 1 minute. And we've had a couple agencies in Texas do some studies with all of their offenders that are on POcheck. They did a couple surveys down there, and the feedback was fantastic. Offenders, of course, appreciate the fact that they don't have to come into the office, they don't have to leave work, they don't have to leave their home. It's a very, very easy way to report in, if you will. Okay, the screen you now see in front of you is the main screen for your probation officer. And I'm just going to touch upon a couple things here. First off, when you click this View Caseload button, it'll bring up every single member of that officer's caseload. Of course, here's where that person will add an offender. This pending discharge button is actually really cool. This is something that our agencies asked us to put on there. What that does is when you click that button, it'll show any of your offenders on this caseload that are within 60 days of probation discharge. That way, our staff out there are not supervising someone longer than they should be. Down here to the left, of course, is probably our most popular feature. This is where your officer can send a message to their entire caseload. So if there's a group, a program starting next Tuesday night, or as an officer you do not want your offenders to attend the upcoming county fair, you can simply send them a message from right there, hit send, and it gets sent to their cell phone as a text message, their personal email address, and their POcheck main screen, which is what I showed you earlier. Also on the right-hand screen over here is our recent activity screen. This is what we call at-a-glance technology. When your officer comes into his screen, he or she can just take a look over there in recent activity, and it'll show what Mr. Westinghouse, for instance, that he had a police contact. It'll also show up if your fellow officers have had contact with any one of your offenders on your caseload. When they input that into our POcheck case notes, it'll pop up here on your officer's screen. So it's very, very cool technology. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to show you this report in status. This is the status, or the button I should say, that officers will first go into when they open up their screen. And here's why. When they click that, you'll see, at a glance, you'll see every single offender that has already checked in. That'll be over here. And then you'll see all of your offenders who have not checked in. Of course, those will be listed over here. Now, because Mr. Westinghouse reported that he had police contact, that shows up as an alert. And that red button right there is what signifies that. One of the cool things about POcheck is today most probation officers have to read through over 100 paper monthly reports. And they've got to see if there's any information in there that has changed or whatnot. Well, POcheck does all that heavy lifting for the staff. Now, this PO, for instance, all he has to worry about are the alerts. So he sees that alert next to Mr. Westinghouse. He simply clicks that button, and this is what pops up. It'll show, first off, the Nampa police, the date, the speeding charge, and of course his comments that we talked about earlier. Now, in some cases, that offender may have already talked to his PO about this contact. And if that's the case, then of course they would just go down here and click hide alert, and away that alert would go. There's no action to need to be taken. But in this case, we're going to act as if the PO wanted to look into this case a little bit further. And so here they would click on Mr. Westinghouse's screen. And when they do that, here's Mr. Westinghouse and his main screen. Now what I've put down here is probably what the PO would want to do, and that is simply send Mr. Westinghouse a message. Here I've put, Robert, thank you for reporting the speeding ticket. Please make a copy of the paid ticket and send it to me. And of course, and slow down. Once he hits send, like I said earlier, that goes to a text message, personal email, and the offender's POcheck screen. We also document when he has opened that so we can confirm he did in fact get that message. While we're on this main screen here, let's take a look at some of the features of POcheck. First off, of course, you have Edit Offender. That's pretty self-explanatory. You click that button, you can edit this page. We also have the case notes, like I talked about. Every single PO has a case notes area, and you also have access to your fellow PO staff. Like I said, so you have contact with another offender, you can document that in their area as well. This archive offender is where you would put an offender in there that has successfully or not successfully completed probation. We keep this information forever. We have multiple servers across the country that we store all of this information on. So it does not touch your computer, doesn't touch your memory, doesn't touch any of that stuff. We keep it, and of course you have 24/7 access to it whenever you need it. This welcome letter is another one of our popular features in POcheck. When you add an offender to your caseload, you simply go to this area and click that welcome letter. When you do that, POcheck automatically kicks you out a letter with step-by-step instructions to the offender that tells him or her how to sign up for POcheck. It's very, very easy. We also auto-generate their username and password. So we have officers on POcheck that add hundreds and hundreds of offenders onto their caseload. They simply just click that welcome letter, hand it to the offender, or drop it in the mail to them, and that's all they have to do. You can see why POs like that technology. You know what? I just remembered I forgot to show you something on this screen before. Down in this area is called our geolocation area. You can see where your offender logged in and reported in through POcheck. So that way, if you know this person to be living in Columbus, Ohio, when he logs in and reports into POcheck, it should show Columbus, Ohio down there. If it pops up as Atlanta, Georgia, well then you know he's not where he is supposed to be. Okay. Here is our supervisor screen. at a quick glance, you can see that it has everything that the probation officer screen has, but a couple different technology. For one, this agency alert area, by clicking that, you can see every one of the POs or staff members that reports to this supervisor will show their alerts when you click that. User accounts, this is where the supervisor will add additional POs onto POcheck. It's very, very easy. All they have to do is put in an email address. Once they do that, POcheck will automatically send that person an email with step-by-step instructions on how they access POcheck. We also auto-generate their username and password as well. So supervisors do not have a lot of work when they add an offender. It's a simple email address. A couple things I want to show you on this screen as well. As a supervisor, you can send a message to every single person in your responsibility. So we have chiefs, probation officers, for instance, that have access to this POcheck screen that can send their entire district of offenders a message. It could be something uplifting. Some of our southern clients use this for storm warnings, for instance. If they know or think a county is going to get evacuated because of a storm coming their way, they can use this message feature to tell their offenders where they want them reporting into if in fact they were going to get evacuated. Okay, so you just saw the down and dirty of POcheck, and what makes it so special is how simple it is. Our current customers love POcheck because of the ease of use and that two-way messaging feature that they now have. Let's get into some frequently asked questions. First, what other systems are using POcheck? As you can see here on the screen, we've got several county systems, state systems, juvenile systems from across the country. Just in our 3-year existence, we continue to grow every single month. Next question. Can our staff and probationers use this from home, on a mobile device, anywhere? Yes. This is a web-based system that allows you to access anytime, anywhere, and from any mobile device. Next question. How much does it cost? We're happy to report that there is absolutely no cost to the agency. We offer an offender pay option that charges a monthly service fee of $6.99 per offender. That's it. No hidden fees, no contracts, no nothing. For the cost of a pack of cigarettes, your agency gets a cutting-edge case management system that features secure internet reporting and two-way communication between staff and probationers. If by chance you have a situation where you do not have offender pay option, we offer an agency pay option as well. We require an affordable service fee that's paid yearly. Again, no hidden fees, no sign-up costs. Service fee will be based on agency size. Okay, next steps. Getting started with us is easy. Simply contact our sales department by calling 716-575-7157 or email kevin.pocheck@gmail.com. We can have you up and running in no time. As a matter of fact, it typically takes about 1 day to get your agency signed up and you can get going. Visit us at www.pocheck.com to see even more features of POcheck. I can tell you I showed you a very abbreviated version of POcheck because we're respectful of your time. Get on POcheck.com and check out everything that comes with what I just talked about. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.